So we've just actually finished setting up the user profile service application. See, there it is. It's all cute and waiting on us right here. In this video, we're going to finish out this configuration and actually configure user profile synchronization for us. So first we'll go back to central administration. We have to start up these services that's running on the server. So we'll go to manage services on server. We'll scroll down here to the user profile service. You notice the user profile service and the user profile synchronization service are both stopped. So first thing we'll do, we'll hit start here on the user profile service. Working on it, this shouldn't take long, and it doesn't take very long for that service to start up. If we go down here, we see that it is now started. We'll click start on the user profile synchronization service. It'll crank for just a moment, and now we're prompted for some of the specifics for the user profile sync service. First off, we are prompted for the user profile service application instance. In this case, there's only one in the entire farm, so we'll choose that one. We're now asked for the service account name and password. Now it defaults to the account name that the application pool runs under. And you'll notice that also we are prompted specifically for the password. Now there's a bit of controversy about why this exists like this. My personal opinion is that turning on user profile synchronization could potentially expose information from your Active Directory that average end users might not be able to see. In many organizations, the people that administer your SharePoint and the people that administer Active Directory are the same person or the same group of people. But there could be a rogue administrator somewhere that says, you know, I want to know everything there is to know about Active Directory. So I'll turn on user profile synchronization and I'll tell it to suck in all of the user profile information from Active Directory, and then it'll be sitting in this database and I can go through it at my convenience. So this rogue administrator gets to this point and go, I don't know the password for the SP Farm account. Let me call up the Active Directory administrator and ask him, at which point a good Active Directory administrator will say, why do you need that password? Only our SharePoint admins need the password, and you're not that level of SharePoint admin. Regardless of why it's actually there, you're prompted for the password because it does not reference the managed user accounts that we have discussed elsewhere in this course and in other courses. So we'll go ahead and enter the super secret password here. And just for fun and giggles, we can actually hit this little I here, and we see that my super secret password is something that an idiot would have on their luggage, to reference a Mel Brooks movie. So we'll do that, we'll hit OK, and now we'll scroll down here and we'll notice that this particular service application is starting. This takes a while. This can take up to 10 or 15 minutes. I've seen it take that long on virtual environments. Obviously, I'm not going to sit here and make you wait 10 or 15 minutes while it's sitting there starting. We'll pause the video, we'll come back once it's finished up. But I mention that just so you know that if this sits there in a starting state for 5 minutes, 6 minutes, don't flip out quite yet, because sometimes it can take a while. So we'll rejoin the video once that service has started. And just like that, we're back. That service is now started. It took a record 4 minutes for it to start on this particular environment, just simply because I've recently revamped it, probably. The previous environment, just for fun and giggles, it took it all of 12.5 minutes. Now, I will tell you, when it comes to troubleshooting the user profile synchronization service hanging in a starting state, one place you might want to look is in the services control panel. There's 2 services in there that don't scream SharePoint, but that SharePoint actually uses when it comes to the user profile synchronization. So let's go here to Services and Applications and go to Services. The 2 services are the Forefront Identity Manager service and the Forefront Identity Manager synchronization service. Until you properly configure the user profile synchronization service, both of these services will be in a disabled state. If it's hung in a starting state and these services are still not enabled or not running, well, to quote Adam Savage from Mythbusters, well, there's your problem. And the actual root cause can be almost always traced back to not doing all of that prep work that we did, which is allowing the SP Farm service to log on locally and not putting SP Farm in the local administrators group, at least while the service is being set up. Now that the service is being set up, we could actually go out and take that guy out of the group. And of course, once you do that, the best way to apply that change is to reboot your SharePoint server. Since this is a lab, I'll just leave it in there. So now we've done what a lot of administrators pull their hair out over, which is getting these services both in a started state And we'll pause here and we'll pick up with configuring user profile synchronization in the next video.